Hi, everybody. Welcome to the KC CHIROPulse podcast brought to you by CATS Consultants, helping doctors keep their pulse on success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Perusich, and I'm in the studio today by myself. I really just wanted to jump on here and kind of bring up what I think is a very important topic. Maybe I may rant and rave just a little bit here, but I want to talk about professionalism. Recently I received a certified letter from my HOA indicating that I had not paid my homeowner's dues. Well, I had paid them, but here's the funny thing. They had made a mistake on their end, and instead of picking up the phone and calling me, they had to send me a certified letter, and it was actually a fairly nasty letter saying that I hadn't paid. Why not just pick up the phone and call me? Why not just pick up the phone and say, hey, we're not sure where your payment is. Let's figure this out together. We're on the same team here. We've become so afraid of the telephone that we're just not using it. I had another friend recently who shared an experience. His car insurance was getting canceled. He got a letter in the mail saying that his car insurance was getting canceled, noting that he just hadn't paid his premium. Well, again, kind of like my incident, he had paid his premium. So he called the insurance company and God love him. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Do you not have my phone number?" And of course the agent said, "Well, sure we do." And he said, "Well, why didn't you just pick up the phone and call me?" "Oh, well, it's our policy." Okay, let's not hide behind policies when policy overrides professionalism. Today, we hide behind policies. We hide behind text messaging. We hide behind emails. We hide behind certified mail. And there are times when those things are appropriate, but there are times when just picking up the phone and making personal contact with somebody with an empathetic tone, that can be a whole lot more, not only professional, but it can be a whole lot better felt and taken by the person on the other end of the phone, which is probably your patient. I heard a story the other day as well, and people tell me these things all the time. And they had gotten a bill from their dentist. It was actually a client asking me about charging people for late payments. That's another topic for another podcast, or for missed appointments. Sorry, but that's a topic for another podcast. And this person was saying that they'd received a bill from their dentist for $25 for a missed appointment. For a missed appointment they didn't even know they had, because they had not received any confirmation of the appointment, even by text message. And that day, when the supposed or alleged appointment was missed, why didn't the office just pick up the phone and call and say, "Hi, Bill, we had you down for 9 a.m. today. Can we get that rescheduled?" No, instead, what did they do? They sent the patient a bill. And how do you think the patient feels? How do you think Bill felt? Well, he's looking for a new dentist. That's how he felt. So we've got to remember that professionalism goes a long way in building relationships with people. And it's not just patients. Think about email. Do you check your email every day? You should check it at least twice a day. And email's really simple. Go through, delete the junk stuff, unsubscribe from things if you don't want to see it anymore. But when somebody of importance to you, whether it's a business associate, another doctor asking you a question about a case, your coach or consultant, your insurance agent, I don't care who it is, answer it right now, or flag it to be answered later. Don't just let it pile up. And above all, don't give out an email address if you're not going to utilize it. Utilizing it means if you get an email, you read it, and if necessary, you respond to it. Don't just let it sit there, or don't not use your email. Same with text messaging. Somebody texts you, respond back. If you don't know who it is, ask who it is. If it's somebody you need to block because it's spam or something, get rid of it. Put them on the no call list or something, but don't just ignore it. Ignoring things like that is not only showing a lack of professionalism, but shows quite a lack of disrespect as well. People try to use communication tools all the time that are non-invasive. And I think that's great. Text messaging, text appointment reminder systems, I think are great, but they don't replace the personal one-on-one contact. For example, if you get an email and it's a lengthy response, why don't you just reply back, hey, Michael, why don't we just set up a time to chat about this on the phone? Use the phone. People like the phone, especially when they're expecting your call. So, don't show signs of lack of professionalism and lack of disrespect around those technological mediums that are so important to the business world today. Because I'll be honest, it can kind of make or break your reputation pretty quickly. Again, appointment reminder systems and those kind of things are fantastic, but they are not a replacement for picking up the telephone. And if you want to just send out a text reminder, great. But on the day of the appointment, if the person's late or missed and you haven't heard from them, call them. Maybe something bad happened and they just need to hear a friendly voice on the other end of the phone. Or you know what? Maybe life just got ahead of them and they forgot. And it's okay. It's okay. Habitual people who abuse your scheduling system, excuse me, different story. But for the most part, pick up the ball on your professionalism and make personal contact with people. Doctors and staff, you should be contacting patients the night before an exam and or the night after their first day exam. And just check in with people. People like that. It's just a warm greeting and it means you care. Text messaging and email can be a little cold at times, especially if you're not using it correctly by creating a two-way path of communication. So create that path. Make it a win-win situation, not a win-lose, not a way to degrade your respect for somebody, and so forth. And be timely about your messaging. Be timely about your phone calls. I try really, really hard if somebody, especially a client, if a client calls me past about 4:00, I will make sure that I call them back the next morning. If they call me this morning and I'm busy and I just can't get to it, I will try to call them back within an hour or two at the latest. And again, things get in the way. A quick text message. Hey, I got your voicemail message. I'll call you back here in just a little bit. How about we set up a time of 4 p.m. today? Does that work for you? Yes, that works for me. Great. Now you've got it on the schedule. And that's another thing. Schedule things. We have these things called phones. Yes, we even attach our credit cards and things to them today. But inside that phone is this great little tool. It's called a calendar. And if you have like Gmail, for example, it'll connect and sync right up to your Gmail calendar. And so you've always got it with you. I use my calendar like crazy. If I open up my calendar right now, you will see probably 30 or 40 different things sometimes on every day on my calendars. And I have a personal calendar and on my business calendar, but I calendar everything so that I can set an alert. And so even if I have to call somebody back, even if I have their voicemail or I wrote it down, I stick it in my calendar as to what time I can or will call them back. And oftentimes I'll text them ahead of time and say, hey, watch for my call around noon today or whatever. So use that calendar to keep yourself organized. And here's one other thing with just staying organized and your professionalism. When managing your calendar, make sure that you put events on there, whether it's seminars or homecoming coming up or CEUs or staff anniversaries, staff birthdays, those kind of things. Your anniversary, don't forget that one. and just make sure they're on there. You may remember that Wednesday is trash day, but I'll tell you what, trash day comes up on my phone at 6 a.m. every Wednesday. Why? Just a quick reminder to make sure I put it out. There's nothing, my wife always said this, it's better to have a short pencil than a long memory. And that's probably a quote from somebody, but it's so true. Write it down. And the best place today with today's technology is to write it down in your calendar and put an alert on it so you set it. So let's amp up our professionalism. Let's return those phone calls. Let's make those meetings. Let's calendar things. Let's use text messaging and email correctly and actually respond. But more importantly, let's not be afraid to pick up the phone. So don't utilize those technologies to degrade and do away with picking up the phone. So real quick, if you ever have a thought or something you want to hear us banter around on one of our podcasts, please don't hesitate to email us. And you can email us at Troy, Troy. Yep. Dr. Troy Fox. Troy keeps track of all those emails, and we get a ton of them. So it's Troy at Cats with a K, Troy at catsconsultants.com. Email Troy. We won't use your name unless you ask us to, but we try to keep it anonymous. And, if you want to hear us banter around something, please, we would love to hear you. And again, we get tons of those emails. So thank you for sending those in. Also, I just enjoy talking to doctors around the country, whether you're a client of ours or not. If you want to jump on a breakthrough call sometime and just talk about your practice and what CATS consultants may be able to help you with, or maybe you just have a question, you can jump on my calendar, go to catsconsultants.com, top right corner. You can schedule that breakthrough consultation with me. And guess what? They're free. They're totally free. So take advantage of that. Why not? You know what? We don't bite. We're no pressure. A lot of people ask what we do. Well, pretty much anything to help you run a successful practice and to do it ethically and to stay out of trouble and off the radar screens and those kind of things. That's what we do, A to Z. The only thing we don't do is we don't diagnose your patients and we don't come treat them for you. So we help with just about everything. So check us out at catsconsultants.com. And again, if you want to find out more, jump on my calendar or give us a call. We will answer your phone. We will take your call. So, all right, everybody. I'm Dr. Michael Perusich, the host of the KC CHIROPulse podcast, brought to you by CATS Consultants. Be sure to check us out at catsconsultants.com. And from all of us here at CATS Consultants, stay well and well adjusted.